So today, percent change. So is let's say, have you ever been at the supermarket or whatever, and you went to buy a gallon of milk, and it was, I don't know, let's say it was $3 last week, but now this week it's $3.25. Have you ever seen something like that? You're shopping, or your parent or guardian is like, what? This is so much more expensive than it used to be. Or could you imagine such a scenario? Okay, let's just use the one that I just said. So, milk was $3. Now it's $3.25. If I want to know by what percentage did that price increase, what percentage did the price go up, I can use percent change. Okay? Now, what's nice about this is that it doesn't matter. You don't have to do something different whether it's increase or decrease. We love when things go down, right? If I'm buying something, I would love for it to have gone down in price. Unfortunately, that doesn't always happen unless we happen to have a sale. Okay, so here's how you calculate percent of change. Percent change is equal to your new price minus the old price, and then you're going to take that answer and you're going to divide it by the old price. That's going to come out to be some decimal, and then you would just multiply it by 100. And that will get you your percent change. Now, if this number comes out to be a negative, that means that it's a percent decrease. But you would know that from the beginning, right? Like, is mine going to be an increase or a decrease? I went from $3 to $3.25. It's an increase. So you can tell just by reading if it's going to go up or down. Okay? So in this case, this is a percent increase. My number should come out positive because it's going to go up. If I plug in the numbers and it comes out to be something negative, then it's just a percent decrease. Okay? So I'll just add that as a little note. If the number is positive, it's an increase. If it's negative, then that means decrease. Okay, so let's try this with our numbers. So in order to find the percent change, I need the new price. What's the new price? $3.25. Minus the old price, which is $3. And I'm going to divide it by the old price, which is $3 again, right? And I'll times this by 100. So here's something I definitely want to make sure that we talk about. You can have your calculator do all of this for you, but you have to do it the right way. If you just type in 3.25 minus 3 and then hit the divide key by 3, it's only going to divide this number by 3 and not that one. So here's what you have to do. It's so important, right? If you're going to type it in on one of these calculators, I mean, this is easy enough. We can do it in our head. I know it's 0.25, but it's not always going to be something that I can do in my head. So if you want to do this all at once on the calculator, you have to put this in parentheses. You have to. And that doesn't matter if you're using the cheap calculator, the scientific calculator, the graphic calculator. It doesn't matter. It's going to do order of operations, which if you type it in without the parentheses, it's only going to divide that 3. So here's what we want. 3.25 minus 3 in those parentheses. Do you guys know how to do the parentheses on your calculator? They're right above the 8 and the 9 usually. And now I can divide by 3 and then do times 100. So my milk had an 8.3% increase in price. Did you get the same thing I got? If you did not use parentheses, don't do this, but I'll show you what it comes out to be. It's not the same thing. Watch it is, and then I'm like, ooh. Look, what the heck? What is that? Negative 96.75? That doesn't even make sense. right? So, do you see how important the parentheses are? Big deal, okay? So, make sure, in fact, maybe we should just put in our, add it to your formula, right? Just put those parentheses in there so you don't forget them. All right, so my answer was 8.3. Now, let me ask you, guys, do I put the percent symbol on 8.3 or not?
Yes.
How do you know when you do or don't?
Wait, what?
Oh, no.
I should have the repeating bar. You're right about that. But I'm wondering about that percent symbol. Do I put it on here or don't I? Guys.
Really? Come on. No.
The answer is going to be a yes, and here's why. Anytime, guys, your answer is a percent, if you're looking for a percent, your answer has to have a percent symbol on it. I'm trying to find the percent increase, decrease. That's a percent. So my answer should have a percent sign on it, and then you also want to say that it's an increase. So that's how you would answer a problem like this. You need to indicate whether it's an increase or a decrease. Make sure your number has a percent sign on it. And this is also a reasonable answer, right? It went from $3 to $3.25. So it's an increase, but it wasn't a huge one. It's not like it doubled in price. So 8%, yeah, that's reasonable. Okay? Let's try another one. Let's say, let's use, I'm going to write out a little sentence here. You're buying a jacket. A $90 jacket. I don't know why I think jackets are always $90, but that's my go-to. You're buying a $90 jacket. It rings up at $63. Lucky you! It must have been on sale. Maybe it was on a sale rack and you didn't even notice. My question is, what percent was it off, I guess? Was it off? Yeah, I don't know. Is this going to be a percent increase or decrease? Decrease. It was 90 and it went down to 63. Okay? So let's go ahead and figure out our percent change. What's the new price? 63 minus the old price. 90 divided by what goes on the bottom according to our formula here?
Is it 3? Oh, old price.
The old price.
So 90.
Yes, so 90 stays on the bottom. And then I'm just going to times that by 100. Don't forget our parentheses here. Right? So if I'm going to have the calculator do all of it for me, I have to use parenthesis, 63 minus 90, close parenthesis, divide by 90, and then times by 100. And what does it mean? This is what I got. What does it mean that my number is negative?
It says decrease.
Did you use parentheses?
Yeah. Hey, grab the division symbol.
Oh, that's important. It means it's a decrease, which is what I was expecting, because it was 90 and now it's down to 63. Wow, lucky me. So this was a 30% decrease. Must have been on sale for 30% off, and I didn't even know it. That's a great day. Okay, try another one. This one, I'll just give it to you and I'll let you try it without me walking you through it. Let's say, I don't know, last week, a game cost $15. Now, it's $17.50. Find the percent change.
Everyone should be doing this with their notes.
17. It might be helpful to ask yourself, should this be an increase or a decrease? And then when you get your number, make sure it reflects what you thought it should be.
No, it's from the last problem.
Make sure your answers are also reasonable. From $15 up to $17.50, that's not, it's an increase, but it's not a crazy big amount, right? So your percentage should be something kind of small, I would think. It's not like it went from $15 to $100. That would be crazy. Are we getting reasonable answers? Jed, what's yours?
16.6 for feeding percent increase.
16.6%? You got that too? Anybody get something different? No? Okay, let's try it. So, percent change. The new amount is $17.50 minus the old was 15 divided by the old was 15. And I'm going to take that and times it by 100. Don't forget your parentheses right there. So, as long as I do 1750, oops, minus 15 in parentheses, divide by 15 times 100. Yes, I agree. And it's a positive number, so that reflects an increase, which I already knew because it went up in price. Yeah.
See, I switched it. Like, I did 15 minus 1750, but I still got the same answer.
Isn't yours negative, though?
Yeah.
So then wouldn't that indicate a decrease?
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's going to be the difference there. So we had a 16.6% increase. It's not always money though. So let's try something that, one example that doesn't involve money. Let's say you had, let's take your last couple test scores maybe. Maybe you had, I don't know, last month, your test average was, I don't know, let's say it was a 70%. Do you want to go up or down? Let's go up. Okay, we got the spirit. This month, you've been studying and staying after and working hard. Your average is, let's say you're up to a 79%. If I want to figure out your percent change, I do the same thing. I'm just going to do, they're not prices, it's just I put the scores in instead. So, percent change, I want new minus old over old. So try that. Pop those numbers in and see if you can figure out your percent change from a 70 to a 79. You got it? Hang on one second. Evan, you got an answer?
Yep.
What's yours?
12.8.
12.8?
Yep.
Jed, what was yours?
Yeah, same thing.
Same, 12.8? Is everybody getting 12.8?
Yeah.
All right, let's try it. So the new is 79 minus the old was 70 divided by the old times by 100. So let's see. 9 divided by 70 times 100. I agree. Almost. I would have just rounded that to a 12.9.
That's what I had.
Right? Because the next number's a 5. So 12.9%. And are we increasing or decreasing?
Increase.
Increase, yes. All right. So, how do we feel about percent change?
Good.
Yeah, it's not bad. You do need to know the formula though, right? Because I'm not going to give it to you tomorrow or Friday on your test. So, just make sure you're doing new minus the old divided by the old and times it by 100. Okay? You ready to practice some? I love the enthusiasm. Here we go.